Hello everyone, and welcome to the first non-Minecraft video on my channel. I thought I'd start off with this little game, Kerbal Space Program. It's an independent game made by a bunch of guys from Mexico called Squad. There's a free demo version which is just, I think, 2 versions below this one, so it's pretty much the same game. And then there's a pay-for version. It's only like very small amount. It's just, with it being an indie game. So I picked this one first because it's it's a bit like Minecraft in the sense that it's open world sandbox game. You can do anything you like here, and basically you're in charge of these guys, their space program, and so you've got to build rockets and get them into orbit and then explore other planets as well. Now it does help if you are a rocket scientist, but well, I'm not a rocket scientist, so you can sort of like get by if you're not, but there is a few technical things that can be a bit frustrating if you're not aware of how things work. Like space travel isn't just point at a planet and click go, it's a bit more involved than that, so hopefully it won't be too overwhelming. So I'll just get started loading in the game itself. So once you've loaded in the game, this is what you'll get. This is your mission control. So you have this building here. This is the VAB, or Vehicle Assembly Building. That's where you build all your rockets, and you can just build them however you like, just out of parts, just stick them all together and just hope that it takes off. So we'll be going into there. This one over here is the plane hangar. This is for making actual space planes, so you'll take off on this runway over that side, and most of them are just atmosphere based planes, but you can add rockets to them as well so they can go into space. Once you've done that, you can go over to the launch pad, and just launch the actual rocket, and fingers crossed it actually launches. And finally, this bit is the tracking station. If you've been playing it a while, you'll have bits of rocket debris and missions all over the place. So this is a way of just keeping track of where they are and going to each one and see how they're getting along. So I'll just jump straight in here. I'm not going to do anything complicated. So this is the vehicle assembly building. Lots of little people like clipboards and stuff working away. So the first thing you need to do is choose a capsule. You won't be able to do anything else other than that when you first go into here. You've got various details of what each one does. It is a bit hit and miss at first because you really don't know what you need. I'm going to choose this one. This is like a standard command pod. You get 3 people in it, and yeah, it's just nice and easy one to start off with. So if I click that one, you notice now I've got all these other things, and the capsule has appeared, so I can attach all these different various pieces of rocket to this capsule. So I'll just move it up a bit. So like I say, there's 3 people that you can fit in there, and that won't really do a lot on its own. We need to get it up into the sky, so you want some rocket fuel. Now, as you can see here, there's lots of different types of rocket fuel tanks, and they're all various different things. Like this one here, you probably wouldn't want this one because it's a very large one. We don't really need that, so I'll throw that away. Let's have a look. Yeah, that'll do for now. Maybe a couple of those. So as you can see, all I'm doing here is just clicking and dragging, and you can see the green like ball things, they just like snap into place, so you can only put them where they'll actually belong. Right, so now I've got the rocket fuel with the tanks. I need a rocket engine, and that one's a rather large one. I think that one might work. A bit small. 220. Just look at the thrust. Yeah, that'll probably be a bit of an overkill, really, but I'll stick it on there anyway. And as you can see along the top here, you've got the various different categories of things. Like these are all propulsion. There's a couple of pages of them, various bits of rocket, thrusters, fuel tanks, all sorts. There's even a TARDIS. And under control, you've got various things that you can use to control the ship. I'll go into that in a minute. What I'm looking for is a parachute. That's it, that's the one. Because obviously we've got 3 guys going up here, and I'm not going to go into orbit because that's much too complicated first time. Just going to do a simple suborbital flight. So they're coming back down, so stick a parachute on the top and they'll land safely. There's also various optional extras you can put on as well. Normally you'd need electrical kind of system, otherwise you'll just run out of power and then you'll lose control of it. So I can quickly just show you. I'll just stick a basic solar panel on. Like I say, you can stick them anywhere really. Just one just there really. And you also need a battery. I'll use one of these. Now one thing you can also do, rather than just stick a battery like there, you can choose this symmetry mode. And if I choose 4 like that, and then stick it down, you can see it's put in 4 batteries attached in a nice symmetrical way. So don't really need those, I just thought I'd show you those anyway. Don't think I need anything else. Usually get to the launch pad and it's oh yeah, I need one of those. There's all sorts of various other things. That's another thing I'll need actually. Let's try and find it. Under control there's a thing called SAS and ASAS. I think I'll have one of those. Yeah, I think, yeah. What that does is normally you have to control the rocket manually, and it's really hard, especially during takeoff. So you can get a computer to do it for you to keep it all stable. So if I just detach this, just put that to one side, and I'm going to choose this one, Advanced ASAS, and you just click that into position and put the rest back as it was. So that will keep the rocket steady as it's launching. Also down the side here you can see this bit. This is staging. Normally you have, when you go into orbit or to another planet, you have multiple stages of rocket that fall away, and once you've used them, this is going to be a very simple rocket, so probably only 2 stages. So I'll just add another stage and move that down. So what that means is it will start from the bottom and fire that engine there, which is highlighting in green there. Don't know if you can see that. So the first stage is going to fire that rocket, and then I'm just going to go run out all this fuel, and then the last thing we're going to do is deploy the parachute. So very simple. There's a lot more complicated ones. You can have various things separating at different times and different sets of engines firing. You know, you can do anything with this. It's really involved. Finally, you want to give it a name just in case you want to use this again. I'll call it Tutorial Rocket and just save it. So let's go to the launch pad and take it for a spin. Okay, so here we are on the launch pad. It takes a couple of seconds just to settle down. It is like a proper physics engine, so if you've got a really tall rocket, the wind might just like blow your rocket over. So you have to be careful and construct it carefully. So it's a nighttime launch, not too bad. We won't be on the launch pad for long. So all you do then, you see the staging is now on the left side. Pressing space will start the first stage, which is this one, which will fire the main engines, and then I can press space again to make the parachute deploy, but I won't do that just yet. Over here you can see the guys, Ribsy, Bourbon or Barber, and Gildenkerman are our victims, I mean astronauts. And over on the centerpiece you can see the nav ball. This would basically just tell you where you're going really, so kind of useful. Now the first thing you probably want to do is press T to turn on the SAS, and you can see the light appear there. That will keep the rocket stable when you actually launch. The other thing is you can press Shift and Control to alter the throttle like that. Now you notice nothing's happening yet because I haven't started the first stage burning, so I'll just set it to maximum, and I think we're all set to go. So this stuff up here, this is like the altitude, 74 meters. This is the speed at which you're going up or down, and this bit here is the amount of atmosphere. So here's a lot of atmosphere, here's no atmosphere at all. What we got over here, this is the amount of electric that's on board. You remember we put the battery on and the solar panel, although it's not going to be charging much at the moment. That's how much liquid fuel and oxidizer. It's just the thing that's mixed with the fuel in order to make it burn. And yeah, that's it. So you'll see those go down, and also there'll be a gauge here showing you how much fuel you've got left. So like I said, this is going to be suborbital. It's going to go up, not nearly into space, and then it's going to just drop back down again, and hopefully parachute, and these three guys here will be safe. So let's launch the rocket. Fingers crossed. Right, so there's the first problem. The rocket isn't powerful enough to take off. So you'll get this a lot at first. You just basically you don't know what you're doing at first, so you have to just a bit of trial and error, I think. So no problem, just press escape and go back to, well, just end the flight, and then go back to the VAB, the Vehicle Assembly Building. Right, so all you need to do now then, if I take that rocket off, we'll try that one. As you can see, it's got a bit more power behind it, so that might just do it. I'll just add that to the first stage. Okay, let's save that, and back to the launch pad. Okay, here we are back on the launch pad with the bigger rocket engine. Hopefully this will be enough to take off. So I'll just max out the throttle again, put the SAS on, and press space, and hopefully this time we'll take off. Now that's much better. Looks like it burns the fuel a lot more. So we need more fuel tanks to get a lot further. Normally, as you get a certain height, you turn the SAS off and just do a little tilt like that, just to get an orbit. But in this case, we've run out of fuel and the rocket's turned off. If I just quickly turn to the other view by pressing M, and just zoom in a bit here. So here you can see that's our ship, and that's the apoapsis, which is the sciencey name for the high bit of the orbit. So we're going to reach that point, and then we're going to start plummeting back down to the planet again, because we've not got enough fuel. You can see the thing on here as well, but normally you don't have that open. So we're about reaching the high point of the orbit, the apoapsis. If I just switch back, can't really see a lot. You can just see the launch pad there. Some debris there from a previous launch. So we're now heading back down. You can just hear in the background is the wind rushing by. So like I say, that stage is now spent, so we can press space, and we might have to press it again to deploy the parachute. There's also, very quickly, is an IVA, and here you can actually see inside. So you can see the ground It's fast approaching. Now if you deploy the parachute at this stage, it won't really do a lot, more of a drag chute. I'll do that now. There we go. Slowing this down a little bit, but it's not fully opened yet. As soon as you get low enough, it'll fully extend, and these guys will splash down safely. As you can see from their expressions, they're a bit upset. Yeah, they'll be alright. Just approaching 2,000 meters above sea level. And there we go. The rest of the rocket's just like fallen away. Probably should have detached that properly, really. So all we're left with is the capsule and the parachute for the last, I think it's about 1,000 meters or so. You just glide down softly. You see we're doing about 10 meters a second, so that's a nice soft landing. And these guys are really cheered up now. He's particularly happy about that. So that's Kerbal Space Program, an indie game, bit technical. So if you're not into all that technical stuff, then it might not be for you. But I mean, I love all the space travel stuff, so I got right at home with this program, this game. And like I say, there's a demo version available, free demo. There we go, splash down. There's a free demo available, so you can try it out, see if it's something you'd like. And there's a pay-for version, about, I think it's $15 or $20, or I don't know. I was converting it to euros and pounds and stuff, but it's very cheap anyway if you do decide to buy it. And it's I think it's well worth it. Very educational as well as being a bit of a nice bit of fun. Before I go, let's have a look at this view again. I'll just show you. That's the planet, by the way. It looks a bit like planet Earth, and you can see there I've got a International Space Station in orbit at the moment, and it is quite a big solar system. It's kind of small scale than ours. Over here I've got the moon, or the mun. I've got a base on the moon, and further out there's a second moon called Minmus. And a bit further out than that, you've got the whole planet system. You've got a Mars-like planet. I've got a base on there. It took a while to get to. A Jupiter-type planet, and then another one further out, Joule. And Elu, that's a new one that's been added recently. That's the big orbit there. So quite a lot to explore. I mean, these far out planets are really far out. You're going to need lots of rocket fuel and time to get out there, but so plenty to explore. Each of these planets as well have got like their own moons, so you can go where you like. If I just double click on that one, so I'm just switching over to the ISS. There it is. So this is a station I've been building piece by piece. It's a bit wonky, but couldn't quite get that solar panel on right, but it doesn't really matter, it works. You can see here the docking port, so I can add more things to it. It's really tricky to do though, so it takes several hours to actually get up there and maneuver it and get into place. But just wanted to show you what you can do with it. It's really neat. About 7 guys on board. There's 3 in that one and a couple more in there. So a really cool game. It's an indie game, like I say. Demo version available. I'll put a link in the description, so go and check it out if you like it. Thanks for watching. Bye.